Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information and Culture of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has said that it is fraudulent to say that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not win the 2023 presidential election because the presidential election results was not transmitted from the polling units to the IReV as promised by the Independent National Electoral Commission and as was expected given the Electoral Act 2022. Because if you remember, the reason why Nigerians celebrated Buhari's signing of the new Electoral Act in 2022 after much prevarication, if you remember, there was so much pressure. It was as if Buhari would not sign it. Eventually, President Muhammad Buhari signed it. It was that signing of the Electoral Act that gave Nigerians hope that the coming election in 2023 is going to be far better and much more transparent than every other election we had ever conducted since then. That particular action, this Electoral Act, was one of the reasons why so many Nigerians, even those who have never voted before, because there was so much apathy towards election in Nigeria before 2023, because many people have lost hope in the capacity of INEC to conduct transparent election based on the 2010 Electoral Act, which they felt with that act is almost a waste of time going to go and vote because the results are easily manipulated. But with the Electoral Act, and its biggest selling point was that election results will be transmitted electronically. That was what motivated a lot of Nigerians, because they could see that if it could be done like that, some of the processes that used to give politicians opportunity and leeway to manipulate election results since 1999 will be totally cut off. Now, this is a process that even the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, promised severally that the Nigerians will see the result of the elections real time. As the results are being announced at the polling units, they will be uploaded to the IReV, where the whole world will see it on real time. In fact, so many Nigerians were happy about this development. Now, for Lai Mohammed to now dismiss not using that same process that INEC promised on the most important election of the day, let's be clear about this. The presidential election in Nigeria was the most important of all the elections that was held this year. The reason why many Nigerians are angry today is not because some governors were able to be re-elected, some governors were able to plant their successors, some governors were able to manipulate the process and win all these House of Assembly seats in their states. People were able to tolerate this. But the one that is of most painful to many Nigerians was the manipulation of the presidential election. If the presidential election had gone well, INEC would have been forgiven for all of its shortcomings in the other elections. But the albatross of INEC was the glaring manipulation of presidential election results, in the sense that they refuse deliberately, because to this day they have not given reasons why the presidential election result was not transmitted to the IReV from the polling unit the same way that the House of National Assembly elections were transmitted. Because the National Assembly elections and the presidential election, they took place at the same minute, the same hour, the same seconds. So for PDP and the Labour Party to counter President Muhammad Buhari, who said that it was because of their complacency, because of their overconfidence, that was why they won. And then the Labour Party and PDP challenged them, telling them, no, that's not the reason. You know, I have done a video about it to say President Muhammad Buhari lied. The real reason why the PDP and Labour Party lost was because the election was manipulated. What is the proof that it was manipulated? The refusal of the Independent National Electoral Commission to transmit the presidential election results when they were transmitting the senatorial and House of Reps results. Now, if presidential election had held on a separate day, different from the National Assembly election, you could have excused INEC, excused the APC, because you say, okay, the presidential election took place on a different date, but this is an election that took place with the National Assembly election. It was not transmitted. So it is obvious that something was wrong, and whatever was wrong was not done in the interest of Nigerians, it was done in the interest of APC. There's no debate about it. Nobody can convince anybody otherwise. The reason why people are just not making much noise about it is that the matter is now for the courts to look at, to find out what to do about it. Whether there could be any form of remedy for the aggrieved Nigerians. The over 61% of Nigerians that voted against Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to assuage their pains, that the court could come to the rescue. Now, you can see how Lai Mohammed was now celebrating the president's reasons for the failure of the opposition to win. He said Lai Mohammed was trumpeting it, that they were overconfident, they were depending on their foreign backers, that these are some of the reasons why they lost. That is the new reasons that Lai is now running around the whole place and calling those in PDP and the Labour Party who challenged Buhari for what he said about overconfidence being the reason why they lost, and foreign backers and all that. This is now the new reason Lai Mohammed is now literally insulting the opposition, saying that it is fraudulent for them to say that the election was rigged, or that Alhaji Tinubu did not win the election. Okay? That it is fraudulent to say that Asiwaju didn't win the election because of the result was not transmitted to the IReV. But he knows if the table were to turn and he was in the opposition, there is no way Lai will be saying what he's saying. In any case, Lai Mohammed that is now trumpeting that the reason why the opposition lost was because they were overconfident. They were so overconfident and that they didn't put their act together and all that. This same Lai Mohammed, when he traveled outside the country to United States and to UK, remember he went there, these two countries, to go and convince the international media that Tinubu actually won the election and that he won the election fair and square. He went to UK, he went to US. The reason he gave when he was in US is different from the reason he's now trumpeting around the whole place. When he was in US, he told the American press that the reason the opposition lost, he was particular about Peter Obi and all the rest. The reason they lost was because the opposition was divided. That if Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, and Rabiu Kwankwaso of New Nigerian People's Party, if they had stayed together in PDP, that they would have, that APC would have found it difficult to win. That APC would have found it difficult to win. But once these people went their separate ways, that it was obvious that things is going to be easy for APC to win. That was the message that Lai took to Washington, D.C. Of course, I have had occasions to counter that argument, because I have said it before that when Rabiu Kwankwaso, Peter Obi, and Atiku Abubakar were in PDP in 2019, and they all of them were a united family in PDP. Why did PDP not win the presidential election in 2019 that APC won? It is also the same reason why APC won this election, allegedly, by manipulation, because it was strongly believed that 2019 election was rigged. So if 2019 election was rigged when Atiku, Peter Obi, and Kwankwaso were in PDP, and in fact, Peter Obi was the vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar, if they lost in 2019 as a result of rigging, it then means that if they had been together in 2023, they would have still been defeated, because INEC would have still not transmitted the presidential election results, so that APC would allegedly manipulate the numbers before they are released. So it doesn't really make any difference. The only difference that will be made is for APC to pay a price for alleged manipulation in connivance with INEC through the processes of the court, following the due processes of the court. Because nothing short of that will stop APC. Because if this system continues like this, APC will continue to win election in this country with the system that is run by Independent National Electoral Commission, and nobody will do anything about it. That is the obvious. So now Lai Mohammed has gone to UK too, and he told people, the international media in UK, that the reason why the opposition lost was they were divided. Now, so which one do we believe now? The one he is trumpeting now because Buhari said it. Sometimes I don't know whether to even believe that Buhari was the one that said it or Garba Shehu that said it. Because, there are so many things that you doubt whether Buhari will be able to do such a critical analysis, given the fact that he's not somebody who is given to all those kind of deep thinking like that. But all the same, Lai Mohammed was wrong in his first analysis by saying that it was the division of the opposition that made it easy for them to win. And I have said it is not the reason. The reason that APC won by INEC record is because the presidential election result was not transmitted live. It was not transmitted on real time, the time the National Assembly result was transmitted. If that had happened, a lot of things that we are talking about today will not be talking about it. So that's a wrong analysis. Then the idea that it was overconfidence is not true, because the opposition never showed any kind of confidence. What will give the opposition confidence? They don't have the kind of financial war chest that the APC had. They don't have the kind of state support that the APC had. In fact, they were so overconfident in the APC that they refused to attend any debate, because in their mind, even the votes of Nigerians doesn't really matter. As long as INEC is on their side, why should they go and debate? And at the end of the day, when the result was announced, we can now see the reason why they were so confident. Because the INEC was on their side, obviously. Because for INEC not to transmit the presidential election result when it was transmitting the National Assembly election showed that something manipulative happened. Now, it would have even been easier for INEC to defend if after the presidential and National Assembly election, none of the elections was able to be transmitted through the BVAS to the IReV. So we can now interpret it as a total failure of the system, of the BVAS in the area of transmission of results. But as God will have it, which is probably to the best interest of Nigerians, whatever gave them the counsel to restrict their restrictions on transmission of the result on the presidential election gave them away. Because if all the three elections that took place that day were all not transmitted, then you can say, okay, there was a failure of BVAS. So you can't really blame them. But now, there is no way INEC and the APC can escape the care leg that the declaration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has, because the presidential election result was not transmitted to the INEC IReV when the National Assembly results were transmitted. They cannot convince any reasonable person, whether at home or abroad, that that singular action was not a strong indication of manipulation of the 2023 presidential election results. So it doesn't make sense any other analysis, whether it's from Buhari or from Lai Mohammed or from anybody. No other defense is plausible except to state the fact that that deliberate delay and refusal to transmit the presidential election results is the reason why Nigerians are angry today. And nothing can stop that. They can go about shouting from morning till night that 2023 election is the best election ever. They cannot fool Nigerians on that. They cannot fool the international community. The process is more important than the outcome. INEC and the APC government failed in the process. So their celebration, their victory celebration is hollow. And they can see that Nigerians are not rejoicing with them. They should know it. 61% of Nigerians are not with them. And I have said it before, when I say 61%, somebody told me that I'm not supposed to be saying 61% of Nigerians rejected as well, that it was about 85%. Because there are people who believe strongly that the figure given to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was allegedly padded figures. That we'll soon find out when the Supreme Court began to retabulate the results. Because from the petition of Peter Obi, there is no way there will be no retabulation of the 2023 presidential election. When the Supreme Court, or in the first instance, the appeal court, began to look at these results that INEC used to declare Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu the president-elect. Results that, as I'm talking to you now, most of it have not been uploaded to the IReV. So, which results are they going to defend? Because INEC is seriously beating his chest that he did a good work, that is going to defend. It has already filed its own defense in the court. But at the end of the day, I know that there will be a retabulation of the presidential election. So we are going to Nigerians will keep waiting with bated breath to see how the retabulation, what it will lead to. Whether it will lead to, as many are suggesting, for the person that came third to move to the first position, and for the person that is in first position to move down to the third position where he rightly belongs. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you are not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you.